Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot. Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. 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 Parrot TV.
The Literary Corner, brought to you by New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity. Hello, welcome to World Anchors Network. I'm Dustin Pickering, your noble and honest host. Today we were to have Danny Best, but he is not available due to a network lag either on his end or on my end. Maybe StreamYard as well. So if you can hear us and see us, drop us a message, drop us a YouTube message or on Facebook, wherever you are. For now, what I'll do, since we had planned a show, is read some poetry and give you guys a heads up on what's going on with World Inkers Network and printing and publishing. So far, we have got planned Vandana Kumar's book, Mannequin of Our Times, which will hopefully be released by early this next coming month, February. I'm going to guess around February 10th at the latest. We also have a book by Sushant Thapa of Nepal coming out later on, probably in maybe early March, maybe a little sooner than that, depending on when we have it available and ready to go. So you guys out there watching, drop me a couple of messages if you're viewing this now, and just tell me what you think of World Inkers Printing and Publishing. You can check out our website, worldinkers.com. That's worldinkers.com, and it's a wonderful website where you can get on the pulse of poetry, pulse of literature in the modern times and the international world. And we have a wonderful international scope, and we'd love to have you view our website with some interesting comments you can make on there, and get interactive in our group, our World Inkers group, and definitely want to join that. It's a private group on Facebook. And in the meantime, I'm going to read you a poem I just recently wrote, and it was put on Facebook, and it's called Empty Vertebrae, in parentheses, Ayin, which Ayin is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, it means nothingness, and it's a concept in the Kabbalah. And so I'm going to read you this poem. I ask you how you formed thee. Now, how do you form thee? I receive the rain. I grasp at the roots of plants. I receive the rain, but the roots are dry. I am dying the assumption. The mind will insist perpetually. There was once a man who was a fish in his soul. His journey to life begins at the level of water. We breathe in silence and we take in the fires. There once was a man who was a fish in his soul, and that man was me before I felt the rains. The rains were not the silence, they were the efficacy of pure nothingness. I grasped the plants and nothing returned, but nothing had already lived in this flesh. Woe, the solemnity of time. If you like that poem, leave me a note and tell me what you think. It's a wonderful poem, I think, in my opinion. I enjoy writing that poem. I posted it to Facebook, got a few comments. So take a look at it if you're on my Facebook, if you're following me on Facebook. So I'll have one more poem I would like to read for you, and it begins with an epigraph. In all change and growth, say the masters, the mysterious I N is present. That's from Rabbi Arthur Green. And the poem is on worldinkers.com if you want to read it instead of just hear me read it. And it's called Prayer for Nothingness, a Nocturne. Lord, in my humility, I ask for nothing. You gave me nothing, and nothing I did receive. Why do I complain? Because nothing is empty and nothing remains still. And now you even are nothing to me. In heartache I plead, in dreariness I anticipate lovelorn but loveless ways of my heart. My wearisome eyes are suffering drought. I am silenced now toward the nothing you became for me. My silence is wretched, interpret how you may. I sleep on thorns I capture. I devise worms in my soul, and I seek freedom in illusions. Lord, I am hell, and you are without me. That's a poem on the concept of nothingness in the Jewish Kabbalah. If you're not familiar with Ayin, it's a very paradoxical concept, and I think you'd find it interesting out there. We've got one viewer I see. I don't know who he or she may be, but thank you for viewing today. And I think that it'd be great if you just drop me a comment and tell me what you think of the show as it's going along. Looks like we don't have a viewer anymore. It looks like that person left. But if you're watching, I would love to have some comments, some questions. If you have any ideas for World Inkers Printing and Publishing, we're doing this show twice a week now, every Tuesday, 2 p.m., every Saturday at 10 a.m., and pretty soon we'll have Laxmisri Banerjee on the show to discuss her latest book that just came out. It's an award-winning book. We'll have that on a Saturday in February. We have Denny Best next week at this time. He will be back. We had some network lagging and some issues with. I may have been with StreamYard. It may have been with his end. But since I'm on, I don't think it was my end. It may have been my end. I don't know. But anyway, if you guys are watching right now, leave us some comments. I'm going to jump into a wonderful video from Jill Sharon Kimmelman. I'm going to show you guys this wonderful spoken word piece by Jill. She just had an event this morning, and if you want to look for that, then feel free. I'm going to find it for you real quick and play it, and it shouldn't take me very long. It's so many videos to look forward through here. Let's see if I can find it for you. In the meantime, I'll talk a little bit, and you guys out there watching, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna play this video real quick. Contemplation of a Phoenix in Flight, Jill Sharon Kimmelman.
Contemplation of a phoenix in flight for a net. On the wings of doves you fly. In freedom you have found an extraordinary voice. Celebration of your journey's path is freedom defined. In the stillness of tranquility, your words returned. A whisper within your heart, at first you denied. Incessant, gentle nudges you avoided until you could no more deny those words, in those impassioned pleas, then you could stop your heart from beating, your lungs from breathing, your pen from bleeding. Every brilliant word crafted sonnets and stanzas awaited, welcomed, inspiration accepted. Your declaration, drafted in tears while haunted by fears, now an affirmation of strangers everywhere. Celebrate freedom earned, blessings of lessons learned. Like the lotus, your greatest gifts grew greater in the ooze of mud. You are a magnificent phoenix with plumes of every hue, the grandest of dreams now yours to pursue. A vibrant blossom ablaze with fiery gems, your magical words. A beautiful phoenix soaring, tall, strong, proud, no doubt at all. Most magnificent of birds, most beautiful of all.
Welcome back to World Anchors Network. That was Jill Sharon Kimmelman with uh, Contemplation of a Phoenix in Flight, dedicated to Annette Tarpley. Wonderful piece of literature. And if you liked it, leave us some comments on the YouTube and tell us what you think. We'd love to hear your thoughts. We're not just here talking to a vacuum. We want to hear everything you have to say about our programming and about as well as our website, worldinkers.com. If you want to look at that, just type in worldinkers.com and give it a look and look through some of the poetry in the product line. We have a wonderful set of products and some thoughts and literature all over that website. So take a look. And we would love to have Denny Best back on the program next week on the same exact time, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll be back at that time. And we'll hopefully have a show coming up, also featuring some Black poets and philosophers coming up very soon in the next month for Black History Month. We're going to do that with Priyanka Banerjee in India. It'll be a webinar, and it'll be a follow-up from our last presentation, which received pretty close to 200 views. And I would love to, go ahead and give you a preliminary on that. We have Jermaine Marvel in the UK discussing Black meta-modernism. And we have Clemence Hurd discussing the destruction of Black Wall Street and the Tulsa riots and his poetry book, Tragic City. And he will discuss some of the paralleling between art and history. How much can you get away with? That's I like to laugh at the concept of how, what can you do with art in relation to actual events? And I say, what can you get away with, as far as portraying real life events through your art? how much can you, invent and use artistically, and how much can you don't want to misrepresent history or, anything like that, but you do want to be able to tell the story and be artistic and have some artistic freedom in writing history, and writing your rewriting of history. In this Tragic City, his poetry book, is tribute to, or a discussion of the Tulsa riots and Black Wall Street, the destruction of Black Wall Street. So he'll be discussing that. And we have Brian Kahinde. He's based here in Houston. He'll be on the show as well as the webinar. He'll be on there with discussing some Black queer writers of some of his favorites, Black queer writers, and the importance of Black queer literature. And so we'll be discussing that. And it'll be a wonderful presentation overall. And we'll have some spoken word and some music. So please join that program when we get a chance. That'll be on February 12th, I believe. And that's a Sunday. So that'll be a special day for special programming. It's not going to be a usual program. It's a webinar we're going to present to celebrate Black History Month. And so we want you to watch that. It'll be a wonderful presentation. And Priyanka Banerjee is going to be involved in that, as well as myself. And mostly we'll just let the artists and the thinkers do the talking. It'll be a wonderful show to learn something new. Metamodernism is sort of not strong, in the popularity right now. It's not something that's really known very well, but you'll get to learn a little about this perspective from Jermaine Marvel from the UK, amongst other wonderful artists and philosophers and thinkers on this show. So he'll be on there, and it'll just be something fun, and just enjoy it, while, you watch it. It'll be probably about an hour and a half presentation like last time. So we'd love to have you guys viewing that and commenting during that program, telling us what you think, as well as leaving questions or anything you want to say about that program when it comes on, I believe, February 12th. I think that's the exact date, and it'll be at about 11 a.m., so that's Central Standard Time. And so keep an eye on that. We'll get some programming on that. We'll get a lot of, I'll be promoting that in the next, sometime from now, a couple of days from now, I'll start promoting that. So just keep an eye out if you're on my Facebook. We definitely want to be involved in that and watching that, and it's something exciting. It'll be a wonderful presentation. I'm gonna play you guys another spoken word performance by Dion Hunter. It's called "I Can't Breathe." So have a watch and leave some comments.
3 seemingly simple words are changing the course of history and driving protesters into the streets. I can't breathe. I can't breathe has been the final cry of too many of my brothers and sisters. And I can't breathe because their lack of oxygen is either caused by the boot on their neck or the stranglehold society has on the truth surrounding all the positive impacts African Americans have had on all aspects of American history. I can't breathe because popular culture has been lulled into believing that there should be no ill effects from the scars left behind by 400 years of slavery, or by receiving land only to have it stolen and pilfered back in the name of a robbery known as sharecropping, or by the fraud and theft surrounding the Freedman's Bank, or by living with the results of the Black Codes, Jim Crow, redlining, or even terrorism and murder. I can't breathe Because I take the time to remember and mourn the innocent lives lost during the race massacres of New Orleans, Camilla, Colfax, and Cincinnati, just to name a few. I can't breathe because even after enduring all those atrocities, blacks have made astonishing bounds that are relegated to the halls of the obscure, while textbooks feign false adoration for 3 or 4 of our kinfolk. I can't breathe because all people need to know the positive influence their forefathers had on civilization. Why do you believe that we are any different? Where are our statues? Where are our monuments? I can't breathe. Because while you proudly fly the Confederate flag, ranting that your history and heritage are so important, you shout that blacks should just forget theirs and move on. How can these two mentalities exist on the same timeline, let alone in the same consciousness? I can't breathe. Because even slave owners received reparations for the loss of their human property, and their heirs still reap the benefits of their ancestors' crimes against humanity. Yet the men and women whose open wounds bled as they helped to build this more perfect union received no payments for services rendered. And the only inheritance set aside for their descendants is your intolerance and condemnation. I can't breathe because it's so hard for some to understand that separate but equal only ended 66 years ago, and in truth, separate was never equal. Unjust laws meant to shackle black families into generational deprivation ensured that fact. And I can't breathe because systemic racism is being compared to the behavior of a small criminal minority in an effort to water down the bloodstains left behind by both, even though each has a direct correlation to the other. And I can't breathe because when you attempt to steal the pride and history of an entire population, unwanted repercussions will be had by all. But raise up a community, teaching them of their accomplishments, and like a garden that has been properly fertilized, a great harvest shall be laid at our country's feet, instead of finding a barren wasteland where no one, not even you, can breathe.
Welcome back to World Anchors Network. I'm Dustin Pickering, and today we're going to have Denny Best, but he was not able to make the show due to network issues. I'm thinking StreamYard had an issue. I've had a couple issues during this show and this presentation, so I'm considering that maybe StreamYard had an issue like it did during the Foreign Policy Review last Thursday when we were booted out of the program in the middle of the show. It was quite funny. If you want to watch that show, Foreign Policy Review, it's under our YouTube at Parrot TV. It was quite an amusing spectacle. So you guys out there watching, and remember there are many more Parrot TV shows. There's Financial Focus University, The Politics. There's also Foreign Policy Review, which comes every Thursday, and I'm also on that show. If you like me for some reason, then watch that show. You'll learn a little bit about some perspectives on international issues and United States multipolarity, communism and capitalism, things of those nature. You'll learn quite a bit, I'm sure, from that show. We've had some prestigious guests such as Scott Ritter, and it's a wonderful program to learn a little bit about the United States and its relations to the world from a perspective of radical left or communism, or anything of that nature. If you're interested, just take a look. And I'm going to go ahead and close out. And you guys out there that have been watching today, I appreciate it. And definitely subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We'd love to have you. So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to be on the show. You can contact me here if you see the banner at the bottom, send your bio, samples of your work, so I can get an idea of who you are, to publication.worldinkers@gmail.com. If you want to be on this show as a guest, we'd love to have you. We were really excited to have you. We need more guests on this program. Remember, that's publication.worldinkers@gmail.com. Now, if you want to donate to this program, we will also accept donations at this handle I'm about to show you at paypal.me/nyparrot. That's paypal.me/nyparrot. If you want to donate to the program, we would appreciate that very much to keep this stuff going live and just generally we have a lot of programming we do on the New York Parrot, and World Inkers Network could use the money as well. So feel free to donate any amount you feel comfortable with. $5, $500, $5 million, whatever. We don't mind taking it. So anyway, have an excellent day today, and do some reading and research and some writing, and don't forget to take charge of your life. And we'll be back next Tuesday, Saturday, 10 or 11 a.m. on Saturday. I believe 10 a.m. for regular programming, 11 a.m. for our program on February 16th or February 12th, which I'll have more details soon. I don't have the exact date on hand right now off the top of my head, but I will be able to promote that on Facebook, and we'll be promoting that on the show. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. And just remember that this is a wonderful world, and what a wonderful world it could be if it was Christmas again, right? Free gifts. Anybody want a gift? Just kidding. When we get the finalized show, the end of the show, Parrot jingle playing here for you, and have a nice afternoon.
Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the Parrot. Parrot TV.